So because we're doing this in the sub apps, we need to make a slight change within the main urls.py file that we have within the main Django project. We go open that, and we add another path here that references to the sub app that we created. And the name of the sub app is authentication. So we do that. Include isn't coming up here as a function because we haven't imported that. So we'll do that here, and that should make sure that the things work. We need to make a change here as well. Again, this references to include the urls.py file within the sub app. Sub app is authentication, and URLs is the URL file that creates the URL information for the sub app. So I think this should basically pretty much sort out most of the backend logic.
Just a couple things we want to look at, maybe the settings.py.
Oh yeah, yep. I think we didn't include the authentication user model, and we didn't add the application within the settings app. So yep, that's an important step. So like it's that's a very important step. So within we need to do three things actually here. So first we need to add an app install app the sub app within install applications, because Django needs to know there's a sub app that it needs to refer back to for some of the commands that we're telling it to do. So if it's not here, it wouldn't understand where to go. So we add authentication sub app here. Then we need to also focus our directory towards where our information is. So I mean, basically to check where our templates for HTML are. So for that, we need to I mean, you can chat GPT this command, but I'm just gonna copy paste this command because it doesn't require a lot of logical thinking. It's just a command that you can copy paste, and everything would be functional. So
yeah, and it just essentially just points Django to our specific directory here. Otherwise, there's a possibility that most likely Django will point to like some very obscure directory. So it's kind of a standard practice. Go ahead, Mohammed.
And I think there's one last thing we need to do is that we need to add our authentication model, right? So Django knows that we created a new authentication model. It doesn't know that. So for it to understand that there's we have a new, we have created a separate authentication model for it to leverage, we need to point it towards that. So we enter this command auth underscore user underscore model equals to the app and the model name that handles the authentication procedure, and that's the custom user model that we created right at the start. So we need to do that, and I think we should be good to run this project now. So so it's in there are always going to be some issues that you're going to face when you're dealing with programming. So we need to identify we're having a module that's not there. These are the sort of errors that you're going to face with ChatGPT. It's going to make assumptions that certain logics have already been implemented, or certain things are already there, and you need just to uncover those issues, find those issues, and correct them. So we don't need this module here. So we're just going to go back to views and comment this out. And let's see if, yeah, we need to migrate that, I think. So yeah, I'm just going to quickly check what this exact error is in ChatGPT. It can help you debug code quite easily. Yeah, let me just summarize exactly what the issue is. Like sometimes the Python database would raise such issues, and the best solution is to just, flush the entire database and do the migrations all over again. So you need to delete the SQLite file here first, and then you need to go to the command prompt and type in the command python manage.py flush. This should clear out the database. And then we run the migration commands again. Make migrations first and then the migrate command. That should create the SQLite file again. And then we just run server again. Copy this. And we need to open Edge. Then we need to add the exact URL, authentication, register. Now we just create an account.
And while Muhammad creates the account, I just want to highlight, you know, these type of like HTML like templates, Chat GPT is like pretty spot on, but a lot of the back end codes there will be issues. So just kind of keep that in mind. You can use a copy paste from Chat GPT as it pertains to just a lot of the styling. It's typically, and then also correcting the styling too, right? It can find like these little characters that a human may not be able to locate. But in terms of the actual back end code, there will definitely be problems with that. Go ahead, Mohammed.
All right, so we just filled in the registration form. We clicked that. We had the logic, backend logic in the views.py to, once the registration is successful, to redirect our user back to the login page. And as you can see, that's what exactly what happened. At the same time, um, I want to use this to show another thing, is that like these are like once you have the development server on using the run server command, you'll start seeing these logs, right? These are important to identify issues that you might have that are not logical issues, but you could say are issues in regards to how would the responses a user is getting when they are using your website. So if there's, for example, like this error, like favicon.ico http 1.1, it's pulling a favicon. I think that might be something ChatGPT added in our code, but because there's no favicon in that we have specifically entered, it's getting a 404 response, which means that that is not available. I mean, that's that like favicon related stuff. It's not that it doesn't break the application, but this helps you identify if there are issues that are not logical issues, but you can identify those issues using the log on the CLI. Right now we submitted the register page using a post command, and it was successful. So we move forward. Now, as it ran a redirect, it used the get command to get the authentication login HTML page, and 200 means that the request was successful. Now we're on that page. Now we're going to run the log. We're going to log in with the user we just created, random login. Let me refresh the page. So basically now we just need to look and see if the application is functional. We had to flush the database. I think that was what was causing the error earlier. So again, whenever like mostly when you make changes in an application and it isn't functional in Django, and everything seems to logically seems to be working, one of the reasons could be that you need to flush your database and then re-migrate it basically. So now that we have this functional, we can see if it's working, the basic authentication feature. We were able to successfully log in, and now we need to see if we can log out. Like these two buttons are not working because we didn't focus on creating a home or profile page. We just created register, login, logout, and dashboard pages. Dashboard so we could see when we log in and have a place where we can, you know, just have a place to see if we were able to log in and have access to commands that are only accessible when you log in. For example, log out. Now we'll click log out, and it seems to be working. At this moment, I think we need we have disabled the CSRF token because that's related to the Django to a Django middleware, and that might take an entire entire length of a different video that we might work on somewhere down the line. But at the moment, we just want to go over how to set up a simple authentication system on Django. George, would you like to add something at the end?
No, I mean, no, I think you covered everything. Essentially, we'll go over the cross-site, forgery request, maybe on a later video, but essentially, this video is kind of walk through beginning to the end of, setting up a simple authentication in Django. Thanks.